Hi, this is Wayne Saliva, Youth Minister of Our Lady of Sorrows, and Where You At starts now. Welcome to Where You At. This episode is Where You At Health. And it's going to be done by a friend of mine, a youth minister from St. Simon Stock in the Bronx, Mary. And Mary, where you at?
Hi, Wayne. This is Mary Asenjo. I am the youth minister of St. Simon Stock St. Joseph's Church in the Bronx. I've been their youth minister for 13 years, but I was part of the youth group when I was a teenager out in St. Simon Stock. When Wayne asked me to do this segment of Where You At, I was a little inquisitive about what was it that he wanted me to say of where I was at. So he asked me to talk a little bit about 2020, my health, where I'm at with my faith, and all that good stuff, right? So 2020, as we all know, was a very difficult year, not only for me and my family, but also for a lot of the people in our parish and their families. So many people lost their loved ones. So many people lost close friends. Something that we always thought about when it came to the holidays was so many people had empty chairs at their dinner tables. One of the things that was very hard for me in 2020 was my health. I went through surgery end of August, beginning of September, which for me was something really tough because I not only was treated for a hernia, but I was also treated for a stomach issue, which in a way I had to learn how to eat all over again. And I'm still trying to learn how to eat 6 months later. After a month into surgery, I was also hospitalized one more time because I ended up with 4 blood clots. 3 blood clots were in my right lung and 1 was in my right leg. This was one of the toughest things for me because in the beginning I thought it was just my bronchitis and my asthma since I always had it in New York. I was experiencing a lot of shortness of breath. I couldn't talk. It was really, really tough to even move around. My husband kind of dragged me into the hospital in the middle of the night. And we were told by the doctors in the hospital that I was very lucky and that thanks to him, I'm still alive. I was asking him to go to work, that I would be okay, and that I would take myself in if I needed to, and thinking that it was my asthma, but it was not. So it was really tough because I am on medication still till now, but it kind of tests you, tests your faith, And while I was in the hospital, one of the things that I kept thinking about was Jesus being on the cross. And I shared this with my husband. I said, my tears were rolling down. And I said to him, it kind of reminds me of Jesus on the cross when he couldn't breathe, he couldn't talk. And we read this in books that he was beat up so bad. And I said, well, I didn't get that Jesus was preparing me for other things that were coming. In December, we experienced a huge hiccup with our youth group to the point where we kind of took some time off and kind of had to restructure the whole youth group. Again, the floor for your faith gets kind of like almost swept from under your feet, but you kind of like have to trust God and continue doing the work that you're called to do. My dad always said that I was being called for this since I was little. He would take me to his youth ministry. He was already married to my mom, and he would take me and sit me down, and he said I would listen to the scriptures and just sit there and just act like I was an adult, but I was only months old. So I have to say that God has prepared me for this role, I think, the whole time. And one of the things that I learned in 2020 and beginning of 2021 is that we need to humble ourselves and we need to be more obedient to our call. And we need to also be obedient to those before us that kind of paved the way for us to be, youth ministers. And one of the things that I'm always grateful for is my youth minister in St. Simon Stock. Her name was Aracelis. and she kind of paved the way for me. And I guess in order to be a good youth minister, you also have to be a good follower and a good, you have to be able to be willing to learn and to be respectful. And that's one of the things that I learned when I started in ministry, that you have to be honest and you have to be, blunt with your kids, and you have to kind of like be that second parent to them when you're there. Moving forward, despite all these hurdles, for my youth group, myself, and my family, I kind of put myself in God's hands, and I said, hey, God, where is it that you want me to be? At one point I thought, okay, this is it, with all my health situations, I'm done. Maybe God is telling me that my body needs a break and that I need to rest. But I guess God had other plans. Moving forward, we're working on so many projects for 2021. Of course, with we're still experiencing social distancing and all that good stuff due to COVID. But we're also trusting God in whatever, He has there for us. Sometimes when I hear from kids that started with our youth group about 13 years ago when we started, and they tell me, hey, Maria, I'm where I'm at because of everything you did for me while I was in the youth ministry. It kind of brings you back, and it's kind of God's way of telling me, hey, you're not done yet. So where I'm at, I'm not done yet. I guess that's the bottom line to it. With my health, I'm still under medication. I'm still taking care of myself. I'm still hoping that by April, I'm done with all my blood thinners and all that great stuff. But I'm trusting God and everything that's coming and all the future of our youth group. With our youth ministry, we're trying to restructure, which is something that we've done, and we're getting ready for a retreat in April, our Lenten retreat, which is usually the Holy Week. It's a 4-day retreat, and that's a big project for us every year. Due to COVID last year, that was something that we kind of did via Zoom. Of course, we didn't have 100 and something kids like we usually do, but it was great anyway. So I think God reached those that wanted to be a part of this retreat. Learning from 2020 and learning from my health, I think that one of the things that we need to do as youth ministers and people of faith is we need to trust God, and we need to listen to those that are there and that are guiding us. I have to say I'm very, very grateful to St. Simon's Stock Church, because our priests have had my back, should I say, like the teenagers say, all along. They have supported the work that I have done to help the young people of our community for all this time. And Father Mike is one of those that knows me since I was a teenager. So he knows part of the stuff that we did while I was there. Father Paul is one of the ones that's working with us in the youth group. And I got to say, I have a great amount of people behind me that keep pushing me forward. And I think God has given me these people so that I can listen to him through them. And they have been one of the people, one of my guiding lights in youth ministry. I'm very, very grateful to God, because I'm still here for my family, my friends, my youth group. I'm grateful for the hard times, and I'm grateful for the great times. And I can't wait for what the future has for us in youth ministry. I'm grateful for you, Wayne, for always being there and supporting youth ministry. But where I'm at moving forward with youth ministry. And stay safe, and see you soon.